Decided to keep this hand, even though it's a little awkward with the Cryptic Command since we only have a single blue. But I figured we have Think Twice to draw us multiple cards before that point. The opponent suspended Search for Tomorrow, so it looks like this is some form of Scape Shift. Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, is likely the card that the opponent is going to try to kill us with. So here I think instead of trying to just like counter the Scape Shift, since they might just Primeval Titan us, I think we want to start countering each individual thing. Like I want to negate this this thing. It's a little confusing to me how this works online because there's like 3 different triggers that happen. I'm trying to counter the spell. I just don't know if they're casting it or if they're asking me to respond to the trigger. Looks like they're asking me to respond to the trigger since I can't negate it yet. Okay, now they played it. All right, negate. So I figure if we keep them low on mana and we just counter their stuff, then we can eventually amass a board position where we can more manageably counter their stuff. So for instance, if we get to 4 mana before they get to 6 mana, we can counter their Primeval Titan. And we can snap back negate as well. Maybe we can Esper Charm to have them discard 2 cards as well. It's also a thing to consider. So now this turn, probably going to flashback Think Twice and fetch. We could Snapcast negate. We could also Cryptic Command. We could Cryptic Command, counter, and bounce a land. But I think I'd rather just draw a card. So the question is, do we want to Snapcast negate or do we want a Cryptic Command? I think I want a Cryptic Command. Might be wrong because now next turn we don't have a way to stop the Titan. So yeah, that might have been the misstep there. We also could have let it resolve and then Esper Charm, discard 2, and then played a land, and then on their draw step after they draw a card, we could Snapcaster the Esper Charm and have them discard 2 again. Yeah, I don't think we took the right line there. So now we could have them discard 2, and they would just keep Titan and have to draw a land. We can make that play next turn if they don't draw the land. Bolt and Anger of the Gods, so that didn't accomplish much. And looks like they did not draw the land, so we got kind of lucky there. Not punished for our mistake. If we just snapcast negated instead of crypticking, then we could, even if they drew the land there, we could cryptic the Titan and just be in a much better position. Yeah, I think that's fine. Now it is time. Now that the Anger of the Gods is out of their hand, put the opponent on a clock here. This is basically a 3 to 4 turn clock. We can't just sit around and give them all the time in the world. See, so now here, I'm tempted to snapcast Esper Charm, but I think I'd rather hold off. Because I might need to counter something this turn. Could have responded to that too. The trigger. Right, Anger of the Gods. I think I'll just negate. Flashback. Attack again. So if they play Valakut here, it could be kind of weird. So that'll trigger the Calming Heart. Alright, so here we could just counter that. And that'll be game. Scripted command, counter the Titan. I was sent a message. I'm kind of afraid what it is. It might be some profanity. Might have just been good game. We'll assume it was good game. Alright, so Ruined Halo is kind of a hit or miss type card. This is red-green Valakut. So if we name Valakut the Molten Pinnacle, then they'll have to kill us with Primeval Titan, or they'll have to find an answer to the enchantment. So that's one thing we can do. Negate will stop Scape Shift. Crumble to Dust will stop the Valakut, but only if they play it. A lot of times they sandbag it. The Fatal Pushes definitely come out. That's our worst card. The Supreme Verdict is also not the answer I'm looking for. And Path to Exile is kind of weird because it does two things that are bad. One, it ramps, or like it gives them a land, which if they're a Valakut deck, which they are, that kind of works against what we're trying to do. And the other thing is, if you're using it to kill a Primeval Titan, they've already gotten 2 lands off of it. I'd much rather counter the Titan, because once they play the Titan, if it resolves and they get their trigger, then we're kind of already in a bad spot. So it's almost like it might be the type of card that just allows us to lose a little less badly, but we still lose. So it might be the type of card that we just shouldn't have in our deck. Then again, there are scenarios where they board in more creatures. And again, like Path to Exiling a Ravenous or a Baloth or a Thragtusk or something is not ideal. But it might be a necessary evil. So we definitely want like Thoughtseize and Crumble to Dust, because those can take out their most impactful threats. We want all of our counter magic, I think. Negate is the most suspect, but I think there's plenty of targets. So then the question is, do we want any number of Path to Exiles, or do we want something else instead? I don't think Relic really does anything. Maybe we just want one Path to Exile, because Ruined Halo on any of their other threats seems better to me. I think this is what we do here, just leaving one Path to Exile. Let's see what their message was. Oh, GG. Alright, it was GG. Okay. So we can negate their turn 3 play. Then we can Logic Knot as a force spike, or as a miscalculation. So we have 2 cards in our graveyard. We drew the one Path to Exile, which was our worst card after board. I think that we keep this because we can counter, and we can Snapcast counter again. So we have a pretty good game plan. There's the Valakut. So if we do happen to draw our Crumble to Dust, we can get them. Let's see. I kind of want white mana, but we're going to need blue anyway. If I get white, blue. And then we can negate. And now next turn, we can, I guess, Logic Knot the other search. Oh, and they missed their land drop. Interesting. So actually, we can't really Logic Knot the search. Maybe we should have. No, I guess they had mana up anyway. So we can't really counter that search. So we can Logic Knot for 3, but they can pay 3. Question is, do I take 2 damage from my land? In case I want to Esper Charm. I think I don't. Because I think our plan is to either Logic Knot or Think Twice. Yep. It's like they got out from underneath my counters, unfortunately. So I'll counter that. So now they have 3 in hand. Oh, 2 in hand, perfect. So now we can Esper Charm them, have them discard their Primeval Titan. Hopefully they don't draw it. Oh, maybe it's a Baloth. That's why I should do it on the opponent's turn. So it can't attack us in case it's a Baloth. Scape shift, scape shift. Deal. Search, okay. So now they have 5 mountains in play. So we're going to get our steam vents in case we draw our crumble to dust. Now here we can snapcast Logic Knot. Drew another. So now if they draw a mountain, it's for each mountain it's 6 damage. What do we do here? We can make 3 tokens. Doesn't sound super good. I think we just think twice. Yep, that's not super good in this spot. We could have them discard their card after they draw it. With the Esper Charm, I think we'd rather just draw cards. Tireless Tracker, interesting. We can't really Path to Exile it because that'll deal us 6 damage. I mean, we could. I don't know that that's ideal. Logic Knot would require beat for 6. We don't have 6. Could think twice. I think we'd rather just draw cards. And that resolves. Okay. So let's see, we could Snapcast Esper Charm on their draw steps. They discard the card they draw. And then Snapcaster Mage would be able to keep Tracker from attacking. If we let them play their land, and things could go badly. Really need to draw this Crumble to Dust. Yeah, I think we have to do that. We can get a Plains. Oh, we have to do it on their draw step. We're on the upkeep right now. Same thing. So they draw, and then we make them discard. It was a Baloth. Alright, So that accomplished basically nothing. So we can run it back, which I think is the right call. This is kind of tough. Reclamation Sage, which again was kind of a brick. Now here, I think we can double block. There it is. Exile target non-basic land, its controller, search its controller's graveyard, hand, library for any number of cards of the same name, exile them. Well, I guess that's kind of unfortunate that they have 2 Valakuts on the battlefield. So we could hit Cinderglade, put them 2 away, we have negate. If we path, it would get one of their mountains. What to do, what to do, what to do? Don't know. Guess we hit Cinderglade. We only have 3 Cinderglades. So they have Courser, more Baloths, more Scape Shifts. Only a 3rd Valakut? This is weird. Okay. There's the Foothills. Yep, that was a good draw. Okay. So that was pretty good. Not Valakut Firebore, Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. Sounds better. Now, I guess we can do that on the upkeep. Okay, good. They cracked it. They fell for it. Fell for my trap. You may have it. Okay. I think I'm gonna wait on the Thoughtseize. Resolves. Draw 4 cards. Go to 15. See, I can Snapcast Crumble. I can Crumble. Do I even care to do that? Yeah, I guess I do. They have Mountain in hand, okay. So now on their draw step, I'm going to stop again. So we go to 11. And we have a Logic Knot. Is that our only counterspell? Yes. I guess we have to do it. Not the cleanest game, but we're in control. I mean, we could start attacking with Colonnade pretty soon. All right, there we go. "23 cards in our library. So we're not worried about decking. We're in complete control at this point, in case you hadn't noticed. Here we're just going through the motions. We can almost attack with 2 colonnades. I don't think there's a reason to, though. I'll just counter it. Who cares? All right, good match.